During the Great Chicago Fire, Myra Bradwell and her husband were very, very worried about their 13-year-old daughter, Bessie Bradwell, who was nowhere to be found. So where was she? Well, as it turns out, Bessie Bradwell was saving their subscription list for their newspaper, the Chicago Legal News, which was ran by, hold your gasps, a woman in the 1870s. What the heck? So basically, Myra Bradwell is the subject of my research, and not just her, but the whole world of women and law. The reason why I decided to study that topic is because I was very interested in seeing how women integrated themselves into the world of law, which was definitely set against them. It was a very sexist system. It didn't encourage women to be a part of it at all, because of an idea that was shown to us in the reading Wisner and Hanks' Gender and Power, where in 278 it says, page 278, whatever the origins of this broader public realm, the public-private divide has varied in intensity throughout time and varied somewhat in its association with the gender dichotomy. At certain points, such as in classical Athens and Victorian England, the links between public, private, and male-female are strong. In Athens, we can see the idea of like the Acropolis and women not really being encouraged to be a part of the politics or even the law as well, and that they were more encouraged to be a part of the home. And this is an idea that was upheld in Bradwell versus Illinois in 1873 when Myra Bradwell went to the Supreme Court and tried to become a lawyer. She had every qualification to do so. In fact, her newspaper that she ran was read by pretty much every lawyer of the time, according to my research, but yet she wasn't qualified because she was a woman. Let's read a little poem, shall we? Fire raged through Chicago, staring into open flame. Bessie Bradwell Helmer at the helm of a righteous ship, headed by her mother, weathering the storm through acts of reformation, persevering through the onslaught. Myra Bradwell did to the woman legal rights restore. Through women's eyes a foggy lens, and so the world of judging eyes, hammer slams, profit off lies. That God designed the sexes to occupy different spheres of action, and that it belonged to men to make, apply, and execute the laws. Bradwell versus Illinois, 1873. But she broke the chains within the sphere, our glass breaks and we're set free. Not just fighting for the rights of the middle class, but she was a thoughtful lass. Inclusion of all was what called her spirit. She answered the call of the unheard voice, and then she and her family made the most noise. The Chicago Legal News, leading the charge on proper legal issues, ran by a woman who alone fit her shoes. But she marched forward, leaving prints as examples of how heavily to step, saw the future before it was born. For all the scores she set before, she said to her sisters, "You ain't seen nothing yet. A visionary can see the future, especially one they set." She encouraged women to go out there and impact things that they were told they shouldn't and that they couldn't, but they did. And I am very, very inspired by her story, very inspired by the women that she influenced, like Inez Milholland and Susan B. Anthony, who I think was a friend of hers at the time, according to what I've read. And yeah, Myra Bradwell, good on you. Her daughter followed in her footsteps. And again, the reason why I'm interested in her life, and the reason why I researched her, and the reason why I kept researching her after I started reading, is because not only was her life fascinating, filled with so many people dedicated to social justice, like her husband, her daughter, her sons, her, even though she lost two, her parents who were abolitionists as well, her friends who supported her, just so many people that were a part of this movement came around her. I guess she just associated herself with that idea. It was something that she fought hard for and definitely set off a chain reaction. She's talked about a lot in the subject of law and like the history of law. I'm sure that classes that teach about law talk about her still to this day. So yeah, it was really interesting to read about her and the things that she cared about. She cared about making sure that judges were fair. She cared about making sure that the whole system was fair, really. And she actually set the time to look at and explain the legalities of such a thing. She even ran her newspaper, which wasn't supposed to happen, but she found a way to, I guess, with law. And she also defended herself against the Supreme Court, I believe. So all that being said, I think she's a fascinating person, almost like a book character. She doesn't even sound real. And I was really interested by not just her, but by all the different things that affected her during her time. She's an example of what a woman trying to be in law would have faced. And she's also an example of how women impacted law to give us the rights we have today. Thank you.